boys.
It is very exciting to be with you all. As someone who's participated in a number of Balikatans over the course of this, our 40th iteration, I want to thank everyone for being here for the opening ceremony. And I particularly want to thank General Romeo Bronner for your leadership and support, for the exercise directors, for those of you that are not involved in the planning of an exercise of this magnitude. It begins the day after the last one ended. And so this is the culmination of much effort, much leadership, much work. To Ambassador Carlson of the United States, to the ambassadors of Canada and France and Australia, thank you all for being here. For all the senior leaders and directors, we're grateful. This brings together military members of about 14,000 from 20 different nations. And it grows year over year, indicating the significance of the teamwork, the significance of the region, the significance of the allies, the partnerships, the friends, and really over the course of 40 iterations, what ultimately becomes family. We get to come back together year over year and exercise our collective capabilities. So I want to thank everyone. Your presence collectively is, in my view, not just an indication of Balikatan's importance, but a testimony to the deep ties that define our collective alliance and relationships. While this gathering is indicative of the beginning of an exercise, it's also recognition of decades-long friendships that I alluded to up front, and the ironclad commitment that we collectively have, whether it's via a mutual defense treaty or via our many military relationships, to maintaining a free and open Indo-Pacific region. A quick story. I was here 20 years ago as a battalion commander. Perhaps that ages me a bit. It wasn't for Balikatan. It was an exercise in the Crow Valley, and there were maybe 3,000 of us gathered in the Crow Valley for an exercise 20 years ago. And as I have seen and discussed what will occur here over the course of the next almost 3 weeks between now and the 9th of May, it is nearly eye-watering to see how far it has come. As I mentioned in my opening comments, more than 14,000 participants and over 20 nations invested in what is now a signature exercise dedicated to maintaining, as I mentioned a moment ago, a free and open Indo-Pacific and assuring the defense of the Philippines in that regard. The uniforms and flags of 20 nations, including participants from the Philippines, the United States, as mentioned, Japan and Australia participating, and observers from over 20 nations, some of whom are observing for the first time. I'm grateful and honored for everyone's commitment. We stand, as Balikatan means, shoulder to shoulder with the Philippines and the United States, and all of us with a commitment to peace and a dedication to security throughout the Indo-Pacific. And it is why in Balikatan 25, 40 iterations later, you will experience that we will push ourselves individually further and our equipment and our capabilities to the edge of what their capabilities are in a commitment to a free and open Indo-Pacific. I would ask that throughout the course of the exercise that we embrace the full meaning of what it means to be shoulder to shoulder. Professional warriors, not just content in reveling in the past accomplishments of the previous 39 iterations, but focused on what this means to the future. Just as we would exercise our bodies every day, trying to get stronger, through this exercise, we put our teamwork, we put our capabilities through a similar test, with the outcome already known, that we will be stronger, that we will be more capable than before we began. We don't merely stand shoulder to shoulder. We will train shoulder to shoulder so that we are prepared to operate shoulder to shoulder, and if called upon, to fight shoulder to shoulder. It is our desire that that is never required. But our warrior ethos demands that as we've gathered over months to plan, as we set ambitious objectives for this exercise, Now we have the opportunity to train, to put those ambitions to the test, to exceed the standards that we set for ourselves, all in the name of expanding our collective capability. 40th iteration of Balikatan, I am confident as we begin, will demonstrate just how far we have come. How far we've come since 1991 when we started this, and how far we've come in the last year since much effort has been given at levels below a joint task force exercise this large. The showcase, if you will, of this year's Balikatan will be what we are collectively referring to as a full battle test. What is a full battle test, you might ask? It is the integration, the purposeful integration of real-world security situations relevant to the region with live, virtual, and constructive training opportunities that will give us as a collective entity the opportunity to demonstrate capabilities across all domains, across all services and all forces. So land forces focused on land objectives, sea, air, and increasingly, year over year, we will see space-based capabilities used in coordination and support of actions on the ground and on the sea and in the air, along with cyber forces from all of the participating nations that will also set conditions. We will rehearse interoperability. We will refine tactics, and we will demonstrate not just our will to uphold our mutual defense treaty in existence since 1951, but our matchless capability to do so. For the United States and the Philippines, in particular in our Marine Corps, readiness is a core competency. It is how we define whether or not the effort that we put into an exercise such as this is improving our readiness. Operating shoulder to shoulder over the course of the next several weeks, we will be able to show that our commitment to excellence and demonstrate our ability to preserve the peace for the good of all nations in the region. In the coming weeks, we'll conduct challenging operations that, quite frankly, few are capable of. The 20 nations that have gathered for this iteration have come to it knowing that it takes all of us to demonstrate what those kinds of capabilities are. I'll use one example: combined logistics over the shore. Easily, well, not easily said, quite frankly, but sometimes easily referred to, but very complex operations that we have already begun that brought us here, our military capabilities together here. Combined logistics over the shore, traveling by air, by sea, delivering equipment and supplies ashore that are now in position to enable us to work together side by side. Because we will not stand still, we will look forward. And BK25 is set to introduce new capabilities that have been developed over the course of many, many years and spoken of already, frankly, here in the media. Things like the Navy and Marine Expeditionary Ship Interdiction System. Things like the Marine Air Defense Integrated System, MADIS, and the Army's medium-range capability, the Typhoon missile. All here to bring together our capabilities to demonstrate and reassure the region that while we remain committed to peace, we also possess credible combat power that backs up that commitment. The commitment and our promise to maintain a free and open Indo-Pacific. All the while, humanitarian civic action projects will occur in 6 different locations across the Philippines, demonstrating our collective commitment to the local communities. I opened by saying that it's like bringing the family back together when you come back for another iteration in these local communities where we have worked over the last year to determine what projects would be accomplishable with the time we had, with the capabilities that we brought together in 6 different locations. Humanitarian civic action projects are intended to demonstrate our friendship, our commitment to the local community, and frankly, our appreciation for the support of the greater Philippine people and the Philippine communities that support an exercise of this magnitude. So in conclusion, I'd just like to say that in my view, in our view, Balikatan is more than an exercise. It's an opportunity to learn. It's an opportunity to learn from each other, an opportunity to challenge ourselves and to forge bonds of friendship that when you get to a position like where I am years later, where you've been around to see those 40 iterations, you can stand up here and appreciate what those of you that are experiencing for the first time are setting off a relationship that someone you didn't know before you got here, that can be a friend 40 years from now. Someone that friendship builds trust, and trust builds increased operability, and increased operability commits to the collective peace that we all seek. So to the soldiers, the sailors, the airmen, the guardians, the Marines of every nation that participate, I offer you this final perspective. Embrace the challenges that will come despite all the planning, despite all the detail, despite all the effort that's gone in, challenges will come. Those challenges, I invite you to turn into opportunities to demonstrate military capability, turn into opportunities to increase the bond. You have found through your experience up until this point that nothing builds bonds more quickly than shared adversity. So use that adversity to stand Balikatan, shoulder to shoulder with our friends, our allies, and our partners. I said I was here 20 years ago. I'm proud, but quite frankly, not surprised to see just how far it's come. Over the course of those 20 years, I know the resolute commitment that all of us have to not just our partnership, not just the ally agreements that we have in a mutual defense treaty, but our commitment to becoming better as individual forces and as a collective team. And so as this exercise will enable the 1st Marine Expeditionary Force as the Joint Task Force led by Lieutenant General Cederholm will allow the Philippines Exercise Director to come together in a combined coordination center and truly demonstrate what teamwork and partnership look like. It is also intended to demonstrate to all who will pay attention that our combined strength also possesses a degree of lethality for a force that possesses an indomitable warrior ethos and spirit. And it's all dedicated to one purpose: to ensure the defense of the Philippines and to maintain a free and open Indo-Pacific. And so with that, I say mabuhay. Let's get to work, and thank you.